people saying to me, but you're pretty. I don't know what you mean. You don't have pretty privilege. First of all, thank you. You want to know what I look like without makeup? This is what I look like without makeup. Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here again. I wanted to do a little bit of a follow-up with some of the questions and comments that you guys left in my pretty privilege video that a lot of you seem to have enjoyed and you had some thoughts about, and I just wanted to address some of those. So let's get into it. The most asked question or comment that was made was people saying to me, but you're pretty. I don't know what you mean. You don't have pretty privilege. Have you seen yourself? You're pretty. I don't know what you're talking about. First of all, thank you. I have been so you guys have been so sweet with your comments. I really appreciate all the sweet things you said. But here's the thing that I wanted to clarify, because it seems like a lot of you didn't watch all the way to the end. My video was talking about my experience growing up, mostly as a child and an adolescent, where I grew up in Panama, and not feeling pretty, and deciding that because I couldn't let my looks, open doors for me and give me all the privileges in life, that I was going to have to work on my inner qualities, my discipline, my intelligence, my ability to make friends, my empathy, my kindness, try to be funny, to make people laugh, make people feel comfortable in my presence. That was what came from me being a little child and not feeling like I was pretty enough to get people to be nice to me just by the way I look. Now, granted, I am a grown woman now. I have grown into my looks. I am very aware of the fact that I am more closely aligned to what is considered traditionally attractive. I'm closer to that than what I felt like I was as a child. And as a child, I was a perfectly cute little girl. I just didn't know it. The only positive feedback I got about my appearance came from my family. And as much as I love my family and their kind words, because I wasn't getting that same message reinforced by the larger society, I believed more the non-complimentary treatment of society towards me. I took that to be more true. And it is sad. It's so sad that what society at large tells us has a bigger impact on how we feel about ourselves than the people who are closest to us. That's because we assume that the people closest to us have a bias. They love us, so of course they're gonna say nice things about us. But society at large, tends to be harsher with us, and we tend to believe that more. And so my video was all about how I felt growing up, not how I feel now. I'm very happy with the way I look now. I'm still not everybody's cup of tea, and I am not considered to be at the top of the totem pole, but it doesn't really matter, because focusing on the inner qualities, the things that I actually have control over, and focusing on that and working on that and making myself the best version of myself that I can, has given me enough positive reinforcement that I have received from society, that whether they think I'm pretty or not doesn't really matter to me. Now, nowadays they think that more, and I talked about that. I kind of touched on that at the last part of the video. I've put in some effort into my appearance. I'm sitting here in front of you wearing makeup. You want to know what I look like without makeup? This is what I look like without makeup. This is my first video, by the way. This was May 25th of last year, when one day I was in the office here and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna start my channel today, and I don't have on any makeup, I haven't done anything with my hair, I don't look particularly attractive, but if I can put the camera to my face and just be on camera at my worst and hit publish and not die of embarrassment, then I can go out there and make content and stop making excuses for myself and stopping myself from starting my YouTube channel. That's how it started. But as you can see, in my plain Jane glory, I am not anywhere near what you would consider attractive by the standards of our society. So yeah, it takes a lot of work. This is my hair. This is me with a wash and go. And then I use scrunchies to stretch it overnight. Because when my hair is in its wash and go state, it shrinks. It shrinks. It doesn't hang like this. I have to stretch it. It's a process. This is a process, guys. This doesn't happen, out of nowhere. So I know what I'm talking about when I say I know what it is like not to have pretty privilege. And the whole purpose of me making that video was to encourage others who may not even today feel like their looks are appreciated or that their looks can give them advantages in society. If you are that person, I wanted to give you hope into understanding that there are things that you can do to give yourself a little push. Now, society is never going to fling open the doors of privilege to people it doesn't deem worthy of privilege based on the looks that we have. Even I, who have come a long way from that little girl who didn't think she was pretty, I still can't just waltz into certain places. I have to work my way into it. And even with my best efforts, I still won't be able to get in. But by making an effort into working on the things that I can control, I have been able to give myself some little privileges and some little boosts in life that I probably wouldn't have had if I just given up, if I just said, you know what, I'm not pretty, so I guess my life is not gonna amount to anything. If I had had that attitude and I hadn't really worked on the things that I can change, who knows where I'd been today. Now, let's be very clear. I have been very open in this channel about the fact that I am not where I want to be. And it has been mostly myself. I have kept myself back by not having the confidence, by allowing my own perfectionism to cripple me and to stop me. And I am trying very hard. This channel, you guys don't understand what a big step it was for me to grab my phone and put it in front of my face and say, I am going to do this regardless of how crippling the fear of failure has been for me. But I did it. And I did it on a day when I was not looking the best. There was no lighting to help me. I was looking dusty and busted and I wasn't feeling my best. But I said, I know how to talk and I can get in front of a camera and talk. And if that's all that people get from my channel, that is something, but I need to start now. And I've come a really long way. I've learned how to edit and how to sit down and make notes and prepare my thoughts. And I still have a long way to go. But I did something. I didn't allow my lack of physical confidence to stop me from trying a different route. And I'm so glad that I did it. And I wanted to inspire you. If you don't feel like you're cute enough to be on camera, you can talk. Okay, do it. You can't talk, learn how to speak correctly. Go online, go on YouTube. YouTube is such a wealth of information. I am sure, I haven't looked, but I am sure if you do a simple search of how to give a speech, how to speak with confidence, you're gonna find a bunch of videos that are going to help you. Sit down and learn and try to read. Reading is the thing that is going to help you to communicate effectively better than anything else. Reading, learning how to pronounce words, listening to how people pronounce words, watching the news. I know it's depressing. It's very depressing to watch the news, but newscasters are some of the most well-spoken people in society. And I remember when I was growing up in Panama and, my English wasn't very good because I spoke Spanish all the time. it was by watching CNN that I kind of would learn. I love to read, and I would read books in both English and Spanish, but I didn't know how to pronounce words, and it made me very uncomfortable to try and attempt to speak English. But I would watch CNN correspondence. I would watch Bobby Batista. I forgot some of the names of the people, but I remember Bobby Batista. She was one that I really liked watching her and seeing her, how she spoke, and I would try to imitate. I used to love watching Oprah, because Oprah is one of the most well-spoken people out there, the way she enunciates and pronounces words. And I really relied on watching her to know how to speak. And so there are a million things that you can do to improve your presence, so that it would give you confidence to present yourself in front of people and have conversation and introduce yourself to people, even if you think you're not that cute. And yes, you can do things to boost your appearance and make yourself look more attractive. So yes, I hope that explains whether I think I'm cute or not. Yes, I know I'm kind of cute, but thank you. Thank you for telling me. Another thing that came up that I really, really want to address is people were saying, wow, Panama sounds like a really racist country, because of the experience I told in my video. Go watch it if you haven't watched it, where I talked about I was getting some ice cream, and the gentleman who was selling ice cream was serving a little white girl who was ahead of me, and he was fawning over her and going, oh my gosh, you're so pretty. And then when I got to the head of the line, and I thought I was going to get the same treatment as a little girl, and he was very dismissive of me. Not really dismissive, he wasn't rude to me, he just wasn't fawning over me like he did that little girl, and I didn't get that extra scoop of ice cream that she got. And that was like a wake-up call for me, even at a very young age, that okay, so girls who look like that can get things just by being themselves, just by standing there. You're going to have to do more in order to get anything close to the attention and the privileges that they get. And so when I told that story, there were several of you who thought, oh my gosh, Panama sounds like a racist country. And I want to dispel that right away. First of all, Panama is a very multiracial, multicultural country. In fact, around 60% of Panamanians can't identify themselves racially. They don't know what race they fall under because they're so mixed, and they don't care. They never really give it too much thought, like, am I black? Am I white? Am I Indian? What am I? They don't really stop to think about, because in Panama, race is not this inflammatory political thing that it is in the United States where I live. So growing up in Panama, I never felt like my race put me in danger, like a lot of Black people feel here in the US. I never felt that I was going to be the victim of racial violence. We never really heard incidences of this. There's been incidents of political violence in Panama, but racial violence, people being targeted for their race and attacked because of this, I don't remember ever hearing anything of that sort growing up in Panama. So it's not a racism that is dangerous. It is a racism that in all countries that were colonized by European countries assume and accept the belief that whiteness, the closer you are to whiteness, the prettier, the smarter, the better you are as a person, and that the closer you are to Blackness, the uglier, the more ignorant, the less of a person you are. And I know that that sounds very harsh to say, but this is a belief that exists in the minds of most people who live in countries where the dominant group is of European ancestry, which is pretty much everywhere in the world. And even Black people who grow up in Latin America, come on, Latin American people watching this, you know, leave it in the comment, let us know. Tell us what you know, that even Black people in Latin American countries distance themselves from Blackness because they don't want to be identified with what they consider to be racially impure and inferior. Things have changed This was me growing up in the 70s and 80s. Panama has come a long way. We even have something that is the equivalent of Black History Month, and it's the El Mes de la Etnia Negra, where you celebrate the contributions and the culture and, you know, the beauty of Black people in Panama. And most Black people in Panama, we can trace our roots to the Caribbean. My background is in Jamaica and Barbados. And so all these different things are celebrated during the month. I believe it's the month of May. I could be wrong. I'm going to put it here. But Panama has come a long way. It has come a long way. And Black people are learning to embrace their culture. And other cultures are recognizing that part of the richness and the beauty of Panamanian culture comes from the contributions of Black people who came to the country from the Caribbean, mostly to build the canal, the Panama Canal, the eighth wonder of the world. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing that we are celebrating. So yeah, that was that one incident. And yeah, the attitudes remain in Latin America, but it's really not that bad. So if you want to visit Panama, or if you're somebody who's considered moving to Panama, I think you're going to love it. You really are, no matter what race you are. It's going to be okay. Panama, it's a beautiful, beautiful country filled with lovely, friendly people who love you regardless of who you are. If you come here with the right attitude, I keep saying here as if I'm there. I miss Panama. I want to go back. I want to go back and visit. But yeah, it's a beautiful country, and I hope I didn't leave the impression that it's some kind of a horrible racist place, okay? Another comment that I got from people is that there is no such thing as pretty privilege. It's all about your confidence and your attitude and blah, blah, blah. No, it's not. Google it. There's stats that show that pretty privilege is definitely a thing. And what is considered pretty in your society is determined by the dominant people in your society. And wherever you are, chances are that anything close to whiteness is considered pretty and beautiful and deserving of privileges. And the further you are from that, you are less likely to have easy access to those things. So don't take it from me, look it up. Another thing that was brought up a couple of times, not a lot, but a couple people brought up the fact that I am of a lighter complexion, and phenotypically, I would be a lot more privileged than people who are in the opposite end of the spectrum, who are of darker complexion and different hair textures. I completely agree with you. And if you go to my first point about me being aware of some of the privileges that I do have now, I am completely aware of that. And I hope that, I just want you to know that I acknowledge that very much so. I am of lighter complexion. I'm not necessarily the lightest person. I have lighting here. I'm sitting in front of a huge picture window. The beautiful Southern California sunshine is shining on me. So it is giving me, it's washing me out a little bit. But I do know that because of my complexion, because of my hair texture today, a little aside, my hair never used to do this. This is something that, this is a new phenomenon that I have been experiencing in the last 5 years or so, that my hair has been curling like this. Growing up, my hair never used to behave this way. When I would wet my hair, it would frizz up and shrink. This is new, and it's a process of, I have Chebe water, I have leave-in conditioner, I have organic oils, I have grease closer to my ends, and I have gel. There's a lot that goes into having these cute little riglets for my wash and go, and then I have to stretch it because the hair tends to shrink. So understand, when I was a child growing up, I wasn't going to school with hair that was, laying down like this and that was curling into riglets. This is a new phenomenon, and I want to do a video talking about my hair journey. And I'm trying to find my childhood pictures because I think that would give you an accurate picture of what my hair looked like. I didn't have long hair. I didn't look mixed pause. I want to make it very clear right here. I am not saying that having long hair or looking mixed are things that are going to make you inherently beautiful. But these are some of the things that were mentioned in the comments section, telling me that because I have longer hair, I am of lighter complexion, and I kind of look mixed, that these things buy me entry into the world of pretty privilege. And we know that these are markers, these are identifiers that people associate with either proximity or distance from the ideal. So I just want to make this very clear. I'm not saying that these things are better or they're going to make you inherently beautiful, but these are the things that were mentioned in my last video in the comment section. Just making that clear. I think kinky hair, rich complexions can be absolutely drop dead gorgeous, but you already know what I mean. This is all new. And if you're interested in that video, please subscribe to my channel. Subscribe now so that when it comes out, you will be one of the first to see it, okay? And finally, I feel like, there it is. I feel like I was too close to the camera and there was not enough space. Anyway, finally, I wanted to say that I also saw a lot of comments from some of you telling me about your experiences being bullied because of your looks. Whether you were considered pretty or you are considered not pretty, I just want you to know and understand this. Easier said than done, but I need you to not internalize the abuse of people who just want to hurt you. Whether they think you're pretty and they want to punish you for that, or whether they think you're not pretty and you should be punished for that, I need you to understand what people bring to the table is what they have inside. Please, and again, easier said than done, do not internalize that. Don't internalize that. Don't allow that to create your own image of who you are as a person. There are things about your appearance that you cannot change. And by the way, to those of you who were tortured and treated poorly because you were pretty, if I were to ask you right now, would you rather switch places and be ugly instead of being pretty? None of you would take that trade. So let's not try to act like it's the same thing, because it's not. But I just want you to know that you cannot control the way you look, but there are things that you can do to make yourself feel good about who you are. Work on that. Focus on that. And I promise you, it will make a difference in how you feel about yourself. And once you feel good and comfortable and confident about yourself, no, the doors aren't going to magically open and society isn't going to just start throwing things at you, but things will get better. Trust me when I say that to you. Things will get better. They may not be perfect, but if it just improves by 5%, wouldn't you take that? Yeah, take it. Take it. Work on yourself. Do like what I said at the beginning of this video. Work on your speaking ability. Work on your comprehension. Learn about different things. Learn about culture and geography and art and music, and become versed so that wherever you are, you can approach somebody and say, "Hi, my name is so-and-so. How are you doing?" And spark a conversation. Learn how to do small talk that can lead to significant, important talk that could probably change your life. You could end up having a conversation with somebody who can invest in your idea that's gonna become a billion-dollar business. You never know what you are missing out on by isolating yourself from others. To the women who were saying that they're beautiful and they constantly get approached by creeps, learn to identify red flags, to learn to identify people you don't want to be around, and politely step away as safe as you can. But the way you look should not determine how your life pans out. You are in control of that. And I want you to know that. I want you to receive that. And I want you to start working today. Do one thing today to change your life in a better direction. You can do it. You're not saddled forever because of situations that are completely out of your control. You are in charge, and I want you to know that, okay? All right. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do you want to leave a comment? Let me know what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What do you think? Have you watched the video? Is there something else you want me to talk about along that line? I would love to make more videos like this that resonate with you guys, because I love talking to you. I really do. And if I don't get to your comment right away, trust me, I will eventually get to it. As long as I am able to see your comment, I want to react to it, and I want to leave something. If you're just trolling and you're just being rude, I probably will ignore you, but I appreciate the comment. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel for more topics, and I will see you in the next video.